Hello everyone, I figured I'd make a little bit of a video here, finally doing a little bit of technical rigging. I was called to a customer there in Fall River area. They have a little shed in their backyard, and they had quite a rotten tree leaning over top of it. It was starting to attract wildlife, and the birds were pecking at it, and it was getting quite decayed. And one day it decided to blow over onto the shed. So I took on this job here in order to rig this tree up and pull it over to the side. There's quite a few trees around, so I had lots of rigging options. As long as I could get the loft, I could get the tree off safely, and this is how it went anyways. So what we're gonna do is, there's an ash over there by the water. We're gonna bowline around that. Then we're gonna go to the top of this yellow birch, as you can see it, through a crotch up there with a sling and a block, down to the tree on a sling and a block, up to the top of this birch, and then back down to there as an M-rig, tightening it up with a 5-to-1, lifting up this log off of the shed so we can pull it sideways with another side line on a 5-to-1 to clear it from the shed. Tie up the other end with a 5-to-1 to lift the tip, then pick away at the top where it's hung up in that little birch over there and lower it to the ground. Okay, so we got this tree all rigged up. We got a running bowline at the base of this ash tree here, going up to a good crotch in this little yellow birch, down to a block that is attached to a sling on the fallen tree. So we got an M-rig going on here. So it goes from there to a crotch up in the top of this yellow birch, goes over through there, down to a redirect block at the base of this yellow birch. There's a lot of yellow birch here. 5/8 line for the lifting rig, hooked up to a 5/8 line 5-to-1 with actually a 1/2 inch 5-to-1 tied onto that, so we can get as much pull loft as we can, because I haven't bought a good yet. So that is going to lift the stump when we cut it off of the tree. I'm going to come over here. We have another redirect that we tensioned up and took the 5-to-1 off. We got a X ring here for a redirect to a porter wrap. And this line here goes up this oak tree and to the tip. I don't know if you can see it or not. Goes down through there to the tip of this log. So now that we have it all tensioned up, we're going to go through and start cutting all of this brush out, see if we can get it free from that dead birch that's holding it up. Hopefully do an upcut on this branch on the shed, and the tree should be floating. So once we have the log floating, we get a side pull line here going from the log over to that same yellow birch with a redirect and a 5-to-1 over that direction. So once we get this clear off of this tree and that branch taken off, we need to pull this tree over 3 or 4 feet, I would say. And then once we get it clear of the building, we can lower it on the 2 porter wraps that we have set up, one at each end. I guess there's actually 3. The M-rig will probably do the main lowering, and the red line will keep the control away from the shed as it falls. So we're gonna start cutting finally. So 2 hours set up so far? Yeah, something like that. Oh look, Woody's here. Here to visit us. Where is he? There he is. Don't cut that line. So as you can see, I'm an arborist. I'm nowhere as near a video editor or anything to do with that. So sorry for the probably really bad video, but I just wanted to be able to show what I do when I go to work and I do some kind of rig. So we have a time lapse here. It
probably took about 20 minutes to actually get this tree down, which wasn't that bad considering the setup time. So I went over to the tip there and completely limbed up all the tops so it started floating, and then I cut the stump off there at the bottom, so now the log is actually in the air. And then we dropped the tip just as planned and used the M-rig to lower the butt down until it started fetching up onto the sideline. And then once we got it down to there, we lowered that and the tree was on the ground.